e-gaming bets. Online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back, guys. We are here with the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 3. We being me, and of course, it's Hugo TV, the best Twitter name ever. If you are interested in checking us out, don't forget !casters in the chat. We're not sellouts at all. But we're going into map number 2. Now, even with a stand-in, DarkPassage managed to take that one relatively convincingly in the end. Very good T-side, only dropping 1 round, and well, now we go into their map pick, a map which they have had very good success on online at least. They did lose to Epsilon quite drastically, actually, in the first game of this tournament. But we'll see whether or not they can regain some hope, I suppose, on this map and take themselves some points.
Definitely so, and I mean, obviously favouring DarkPassage, but you can't count Tricked out. They can still win this one. Bit of a shambles on the first map, but it's not over till the Fat Lady sings. While she is humming, she hasn't fully started. So, going to be going into the game in just a second or two. Obviously, just waiting for the supplies to ready up. And Tricked currently ready. Just waiting on DarkPassage to drop that already in the chat. And we should be good. So, it'd be interesting to see how Sturban performs again on this map. Previous map, we went 10 and 14. Not a phenomenal result, but obviously he is a stand-in. He only got asked today, as far as I'm aware. So, we don't really know exactly what he's what he's going to be doing, frag-wise and role-wise. Probably just filling in, doing whatever they ask him to. But it's not going to matter too much. They didn't really need him in the previous map. Hopefully he'll show up a little bit more here, but it won't matter too much at the end of the day. Into the knife the knife we go. 4 sides, obviously, and should be just a second.
Yeah, is this knife or is it? I think this is knife, but for some reason Mako's bought a kit, so he's going to be diffusing this situation and see whether or not he can actually take them. Well, it depends on this map. Where do you start, CT or T? Just Hugo's preference. That's what I want.
What, me? Just what I think.
You personally.
Wait, sorry. Just go look at Maiko's smoke that he threw. I don't know if that was a set smoke, but he ran in through that, and it was on B long, like perfectly in the hallway. It went into the hallway on B long. I don't know if it was a set smoke or if he just ran while throwing it. Sorry. Yeah, anyway, that was nuts. Anyway, where do I start? I don't know. I personally start CT on almost every map. Just because I prefer to have CT over and done with. It's the harder side to... Well, not the harder side to play, but it's in terms of economy, and it's way easier to have a comeback on T side than have a comeback on CT side, I think. Just that's just me, though, right?
I didn't actually see. I wasn't paying enough attention. I don't actually know who won the knife round and which side they chose.
It was Tricked and they picked CT.
Okay, so they're going with you. So you're obviously with the Danes. And we're going to see whether or not ex-DP are able to do it on the T side. Obviously, it has been their T side has been a little bit better in a lot of these maps. On Overpass, it was the much better side for them. And, well, Maeve, he's alone on A at the moment, but he started things off quite nicely. Sasuke is down and out, but a lot of damage already done onto S-Tag. Now the push is going to be coming in, but there's a player behind them, and that's the big problem.
Yeah, Maiko, he still gets the entry, but as you said, Maeve sneaking in from behind, he's going to be looking for something, makes a lot of footsteps, still hits a shot. Mini's going to go down, and the bomb will be planted, yes, but Maeve, he's still going to be the pincer in this situation. I like the counter boost though from the T's. They push Maiko up into the balcony, and he is in a real pincer position. If he sneaks in through the door, he could have some serious damage. The issue is, he needs to hurry the hell up, because Sturban, he's being pressured. Woxic does support the stand-in, but it's still Maiko to spam away with his block. No. How is he not hitting these shots? Eventually, he does connect, but Maeve, the flank alone, and out of the counter already. Ex-DarkPassage are going to pick up that pistol round. A bit of a shambles there. Looked very close at some points, but they are just going to get away with it.
Once again, that's all 3 pistols so far, right? ex-DP, I'm pretty sure. So Tricked may need to work on their starts to some of these rounds, as they had a very good positioning. Maeve's position should have brought in so much more. But it didn't quite. Again, it's going to be similar to what we saw in the previous CT pistol, where Hunden won't fully invest. We'll see Maeve just saving up. And now we're going to see the Shredder coming in with the MAC-10, the UMPs. We'll actually manage to take one down, but again, they haven't really invested too much into this round over on that T side. Just trying to farm up as much cash as possible, making the dollar. And the last two players don't have any armor, so this is going to be very, very difficult for them to do anything.
Yep, clean from them. Making the money, as you said, and Trick now hopefully not going to be forced buying. Go for the Pride strat. They are I imagine, just going to go for pistols once again. And that's going to give even more opportunity for DarkPassage to rack up some cash. Only one rifle, a bit risky still, but I mean, up against the Felico, you're not going to worry too much. The thing is, obviously, you've got to make that decision next round. Do you want to keep these UMPs? Do you want to keep these MAC-10s? Or are you going to rebuy? A lot of teams just completely keep what they have and just go, if we lose this round, it's okay. We can buy up anyway and reset them. And some teams just like to upgrade so they don't throw away any rounds that they could have easily. Either way, we're going to be seeing this charge up towards A. S-Tag in a great position to catch something and get someone off guard, but he's not going to be able to. Woxic going to deny him. Such low HP across the board for DarkPassage, but they're still having not too much issue mopping up these CT players, and nothing will be found. It's all Hunden alone, but he's only going to get one.
Yeah, of course. These weapons may actually be rebought anyway, so it may not be the worst case scenario. Sasuke with a triple. Nice amount of cash farmed up there. And while Hunden, not really anything for him to save either. That's the big problem he has. It's just sort of a little bit of extra. Looks like he's actually lagging a very slight amount. I think his ping's now starting to drop back down. Obviously, the ping that he had is still less than what we see on the DP side. The problem of where they are situated in the world. We actually saw that in WSG, where they ended up playing in the Middle East qualifier just based on where they actually are. So, not really the best thing in the world, but we are actually going to see... Well, what was a very quick pause. I imagine that was just to let the reset of Hunden's ping. Now we will be back in with the AWP onto Maeve. Both teams actually fully buying back up, so your questions have been answered, Hugo. They're not going to go for anything too risky. Going to get rid of all of those SMGs and just go for the straight rifles and still have a lot of extra cash.
Yeah, I mean, that's a safe option. Obviously, if they know they got the confidence and they got the aim and they can just out-aim these players pushing onto a site, that's fair enough. No. Okay, Maiko gets stuck in the Molotov. Not a great way to start off the round. Going to get caught out by Hunden's flames. And, well, maybe he should have had a MAC-10. But I like the aggression from Hunden. Reactive play. Instead of taking the man advantage, he's going to push on with it. Finally spots out Woxic. There's a free kill. Attempted trade from Sturman, but he's not going to be able to get down anything. Hunden takes down both players. And now two remain here for the T side. Sasuke, takes out one. But it's still going to be a favourable position for Tricked.
Yeah, Hunden, big play so far in that round. I think just off of the screen of Woxic with that AWP. They will still have a buy going into the next round, although Sturban's going to be struggling a little bit, and Mini, well, he's got to make the decision whether or not he's actually going to try and do too much in this round. Obviously, he already has money to actually rebuy anyway. It's just whether or not he wants to try and get something in hand for his teammate. It's looking like he's going to try and get his way onto this site. Doesn't manage to capitalize on the position of Barup, and that's going to be the first round on the board for Tricked.
Yeah, it was nice to see them. Obviously, if DarkPassage didn't force up in that previous round and didn't upgrade the guns, they could have had a far better buy here. But again, hindsight's 2020. They still have a decent buy here. Only a Galil on Stub and the rest of them on AKs as well. And utility, it's all right. It's enough to get the job done. They've got 3 smokes, and that's all you really need for a site take anyway. And they are going to be heading once again into B. Watch out for Hunden's Molotovs, though, guys. That could really come back to haunt you.
Yeah, I'm hoping he won't get that sort of lucky in a way again. Maker just running straight through. There's still going to be a bit of aggression coming out from Hunden though, and actually Barup is even closer. Same position once again. Not learning from his mistakes. Woxic will be caught, and that is not a good start to the round. They really need to be just learning. Okay, maybe we should check around that smoke. Should never get caught out from the same position twice. Either way, Sasuke is going to rotate the rest of the team back over towards this A site. Already a 2-pronged defense with S-Tag spotting, and he's going to take the first kill. Reposition behind the plant pot. Will be taken down, ruining the scenery, but S-Tag's ruining the rest of his opposition. XDP being slaughtered, maybe even getting himself a 4th, doing so much damage individually. And well, Sasuke, is he gonna dunk him? I don't think it's quite gonna reach. Puts him down 1 HP, but He's still got 8 left to spare.
Yeah, and really in a position where he can't exactly trade. There's so many players he can't push up because obviously Borup's holding the outside of B. Trick, they've got players pushed down on A. And while it's not definite they'll chase, if he moves pretty much anywhere, he's going to get caught unless he just sits exactly where he is. But no, he goes to the peak. The lineup from Trick works out perfectly. And Asilion, he closes out. It will be the round going to Tricked once again. DarkPassage with no bomb plant, even less muddy than last time. They have got to eco this one. It's going to be another throwaway round, another chance for Trick to at least build up their economy and build up their round streak. And they've got 4K on the majority of players as well, so this is actually a fairly decent start here for the CT side.
Yeah, very nice play as well, it has to be said from S-Tag. No opportunity for a trade, just using the little bit of the wall to almost reposition himself every time to take a individual duel. Pop flashes coming out as well. This time he is going to get overwhelmed by the rushing T side, but it is looking like this should be on lockdown at the moment. Only one player left alive in the form of Mako. He does actually have himself a rifle to play with, but he's going to have to go for the one taps as he doesn't actually have any armor to play with. Does actually manage to get rid of Barup though, so making this a little bit more costly than the CTs would have liked. They haven't built up a huge amount of money yet, so can't just afford to throw away players like this, and if he manages to get any more, this will actually be quite a successful round.
Close position from Asilion once again. Nice crossfire setup with the AWP in play, and I don't imagine Michael will be really getting anything unless he can take down this AWP. Not going to happen. Maeve drops him. Tricked 3 rounds. Again, lack of impact onto the economy from DarkPassage. You expect them to get typically more kills here on this T side. They're not doing a great job so far. Obviously, their rounds look okay, but that was mainly because of, they took the pistol and they took the 2 anti-ecos. They're still yet to win a proper buy round. And again, this is going to be another chance for them to at least prove me wrong. They've got a full smoke set. Not so many flashes and HGs on mollies, but again, this is a team really based on aim. They should be able to get the job done without.
It's going to be the peak this time. Woxic is not going to be caught out. S-Tag to try and trade, but Maker's actually found one over towards this B site. Counter-aggression in map control from Tricked does not pay off whatsoever. Now, while with the 2-man advantage, money will be enough to buy back up in the next round, but they're getting absolutely slaughtered at the moment. Mini will add another to the detriment. It's all going to be on Asilion. He will be able to find one, but this should be an easy trade for Sasuke. Well positioned. And this leaves just Hunden left, and Mako is on the hunt. He does not want them saving any weaponry. Is he going to check? He will, but a little bit too late. Hunden's going to be able to get away with that AK in hand.
Yeah, and DarkPassage proved me wrong, luckily there. They are going to make it work, and they retain a utility as well. They didn't even need it. They just need the frags, as usual. But Hunden obviously saving a rifle. We are going to be seeing a buy regardless, and keeping on to this AK, obviously, you can see a couple of the players around 2 to 3K is going to mean that this buy will be a lot easier. The pressure alleviated. DarkPassage yet to build up the T-side economy. Don't want to chase too much. You can see a bit of probing, but they're not exactly going to be running straight for T-spawn to try and hunt him down. They don't want to afford to lose any more guns than they have to. Just play it slow and calculated, and they will do that. But obviously, no one getting chased. Hunden holding on to the gun in the back of the van. And DarkPassage, they once again take the lead.
Got his getaway car ready. Engine running. Gotta leave the map. But, yeah, no, they're going to comfortably be able to buy. We'll have to juggle a few weapons over. And, of course, on the other side of things, we know that DP do need to get themselves a couple of rounds strung together if their economy is going to be set in stone. It's actually both teams now up against the wall in terms of money. It's almost identical on either side. Maybe it's a slight amount more for the T's to play with. Obviously, their buy is also a little bit cheaper. And they're going to go aggressive again. Now, Molotov thrown up this time by Barup. Looking to try and pre-fire a couple of angles. Woxic's actually going to get very, very aggressive this time, and he wins the duel as well. Not waiting for players to push him, take him down. However, Hunden is there to trade, so still a 4 versus 4.
Yeah, this time they're not going to get burnt out in the enemy team's molly. It's going to be Mikey to put down the flames as he entries up, gets a kill onto Hunden. Close position from Asilion, but DarkPassage aren't even going to give him the liberty of getting a trade frag here. They just run right back, happy with the man advantage, and they should be. But Asilion, he's going to react in time, gets aggressive, spotted from Maiko, tagged up a little bit, but nothing too significant here. He holds onto his gun. Again, really no utility. You can look at the distribution here from Trick. Asilion is alone towards B. If they push B, eventually, which they still could, obviously, he is going to have to simply just out-aim them, right? He's got not a Molotov, a flash to his name. And both Tricked, who are on, well, both the other members of Tricked who are on full nade sets, they are both playing over towards A. So this is going to be a difficult position for Brazilian to make it work. DarkPassage are just holding, biding their time, trying to fake this one out, maybe hoping that CT start to push up and they get a double man advantage. But no, finally back in towards B they go. Asilian just ready to spot them out over towards this stair. You will see Maeve start to rotate, and he has a flash. This is going to allow Asilian to peek up. It goes in. Asilian goes to the peak, but he's not going to spot anyone out. Still sees Sturban, though. He doesn't have full information. Morotov's going to make it blindingly obvious. So he's flushed out of position, and Maiko and Mini both get an entry. Now the round's basically over.
Yeah, S-Tag not really in a position to do too much either. 4 players left alive. May as well just keep this as a catalyst weapon going into the next round. Loss bonus is only going to be 1,900 coming into the bank accounts. Maybe able to catch one. Sasuke, little bit sketchy, but he'll still get the kill either way. However, the problem is now they know exactly where he is. You can see Mini running all the way around from behind. I wonder if he would have heard the footsteps. I don't think he will. And this... Oh, is he going to get a little bit lucky here? His position isn't the best, especially if he's pushed from behind. But actually, the opposition have expected him to go around in a different direction. And because of that, he may just be able to hold on to his weaponry. Even going to go for the kill as well. A little bit jammy. He's just going to throw out a flash to make sure he stays alive towards the end of the round. Nice play from S-Tag in the end. Unfortunately, it doesn't make too much of a difference as their money is still not going to be in too good a state. But they might actually be able to get something on the board here. I don't think they're going to go for it. We can see from the pistol buy. But going into the next round, extra 2,400. Then we'll see a buy.
Yeah, so just basing this round, if they can get S-Tag to really get anything done, that could be great. Although, easier said than done. S-Tag throwing a nice smoke in towards B. That's going to deny a bit of long control early on from these Ts. And that's actually from the CT spawn as well. Not quite the one we saw earlier on the pistol, on the knife. But still, far more accurate one, it seems. Going to delay these players, but they still make a lot of footsteps. The thing is, DarkPassage know that they're up against an eco, so they don't exactly need to, hide their positions, go, oh no, we don't want to get pushed, because they do want to get pushed. They want to get rid of these pistol players ASAP. They don't want to have to walk into a site in a 5-on-5 with close angles held by P250s. A nice flash shot from Woxic, and may get entryed up as well. This is already turning out to be an easy round for the Ts.
S-Tag the only one with a weapon in hand. We'll go for the peak. Down to 12 HP, and in the meantime, his teammates are falling left, right, and center. It would be beneficial if he could keep this into the next round, but the likelihood is pretty slim, especially with Sturban pushing right into his path. Asilian will be able to get one in the meantime, however, and has picked up an AK. And we will see Sasuke actually looking for a little bit of a hunt at the moment. Pushing around the map. Obviously, DP, their economy is not amazing either. Sturban has a little bit of extra bank, but they don't really want to be losing 3 players to 1 rifle and a few pistols, so I wonder how far he's actually willing to go. And, well, you can see Asilian. He's going to be that princess in the tower. Hiding, waiting, hoping for maybe a Prince Charming to come and rescue him.
That's what you want, Tom.
Every day. Every morning I wake up and...
You sit in your tower, you let down your hair over the edge.
Oh, that was cold. That was cold.
Climb my hair.
I think I'm more of a... Actually, I was going to say Cinderella, but then I realized I don't clean anything. Sleeping Beauty, there you go. The lazy one of the princesses.
Sleeping Beauty, though, the second...
Oh, come on, let me have something here. I don't have the hair.
Sleeping Bizzle.
Sleeping Beauty with no hair and a beard.
We'll go
Happy
Sleeping
now?
Bizzle. It's Sleeping Bizzle. We'll stick to Sleeping Bizzle.
Okay.
It's okay. Calm down, Tom Biz 17. It's all right.
No, it's actually 22 now.
Oh, okay, drop an XD for that.
That's my new Bebo account. Either way, let's please move away. We've seen a pause come in. It is going to be called by Hunden. Tactical. They've now lost 3 rounds in a row. And I think it's a good time to call it. Obviously, they don't want this to go too far out of control. It is still a T-sided map, but I do feel like it varies from team to team, from match to match. I suppose you could say that about any map in any game at any time, but it is still the case on Cobble that there are some teams that could just pull out ridiculous rounds on the CT side. Tricked definitely had their problems on the T side of Inferno. Not quite the same map, but at the same time... Or CT side, sorry, of Inferno. But either way, we'll get to see what they actually have on offer now. Do have a 4x back in play. Maeve with the AWP, obviously the saved AK in the hand of Asilian. They are going to go for a little bit of aggression. Hunden once again trying to find this opening frag. We are seeing, once again, A little bit of pressure over towards Asilian and drop. Ooh, Mako not quite able to find the angle in that smoke.
The DarkPassage just trying to bait out as many nades as they can here from Trick, just trying to force them to utilize their utility. You can see because DarkPassage really haven't used anything. It's because they don't want to commit to anywhere yet. They just want to make sure these CTs have no utility before they hit a site. And they're going to finally start to set their sights over towards A. Maeve posts up with the AWP. Good position from him. An AWP battle coming through, but Maeve, he has a quicker reaction. He's going to be able to take down Woxic. Nice early kill here for the CT side, but still plenty of T's to flush in to try and deny any more presence. I like the boost from S-Tag. This could be great. 1, 2, goes in for more as well, but he's not going to be able to connect it. Sturban trades. Still a massive impact there from S-Tag, and now leaving it all on the stand, and he's got to ace it this round.
Yeah, the flank doesn't work out from Mako either, and that boost was absolutely pinnacle for them winning this round. 35 seconds left on the clock. Pi does look likely going into the next round, but Sturban's not going to be able to achieve anything, and, well, nice little change up, nice little switch up from Tricked. And they will get themselves a 4th round on the board. And I like that as well. We saw S-Tag previously playing quite an aggressive play over towards long. Instead, this time he plays it passively. Almost gives them a sort of lull of security. Like, okay, yep, no, this is done. We've managed to get the entry. Let's push in. And there he is, just waiting. Plays it perfectly as well. A lot of players there would have taken the first shot. He waits to make sure he can at least have a bigger impact than one. And that was exactly what was needed. Either way, as said, the buy is back in for XDP. Both teams again with their economy on the brink.
DarkPassage going to be flashing themselves through the smoke into the flame zone. Probably a bad idea. Hunden's going to be laughing his head off at this point. He is forced out by his own molly though. Sturban going to be able to get that entry kill. Bob does trade. A nice flick from Asilian just to turn back onto the drop down. Drops another player. Now they're going to start to flush out, but it's not working at all. Woxic alone and stranded on the back of the plateau. Gets himself one. But already the flank's coming out from S-Tag, and that is going to be pretty key as well. I don't think Woxic's even going to expect this. S-Tag, he has the element of surprise. He lines up Woxic, connects the shot, and he takes the kill as well. Tricked 5 rounds. This is a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it does seem that, well, we've got a little bit of a pattern beginning to show on the board at the moment. Back pistols, but it is actually going to be a force coming in from this T side. Now, many a time we've seen Tech 9s and their Yumps, I suppose, actually pull off ridiculous rounds that probably should never have occurred. But let's see how they're actually going to opt to go about this one. I wouldn't be surprised to see some presence over towards drop down. Such a close and personal area that it's very, very easy for them to actually get those quick one-taps with this deadly pistol. Definitely not overpowered at all. Don't know what you're talking about. Either way, Maeve going to be waiting. The one man currently over on this A site set up with his AWP.
Yeah, but again, a couple of players going to be splitting in through this drop down here. Mini is going to be leading it as well with Sask is following. They're not hearing the footsteps. S-Tag, he's only going to just realize, but he still gets traded. Maeve's got a lot on his shoulders. He doesn't even connect the first shot, misses it, attempts the no-scope, and he gets a quick one indeed onto Miko. Pistol going to be out as well, but he has a flank coming in. He's 4 HP, just surrounded by terrorists and Mini. He gets himself another entry. Great stuff for DarkPassage so far. Borup trades. It's into a 2v2 and the bomb. Oh no, that's huge.
That is one of the worst positions the bomb could possibly be in. Right next to the Hall of Death. Okay, Hunden. Don't think anybody's falling for that fake flash, but they now know exactly where he is. Borup just going to be waiting. I'd actually quite like to see them boost instead, rather than going for what would be a risk going anywhere near the Hall of Death. But, they're actually just going to go peeking through the door. Almost gets the wallbang. Actually is going to remove Hunden from the map. A 3rd kill coming in. Borup. All he has to do is play the time. There's only 20 seconds left. Mini is going to have to go for an instant headshot. The timing almost gets the better of him. But with 5 HP, he will clutch out the round, and the force bite doesn't quite work.
Still, DarkPassage get a lot done in that round, and that's important, obviously, taking some guns off of the side of Tricked. Still, unable to connect the round, so we've... well, if we're going to follow this streak, Tom, now we need to see 3 rounds from DarkPassage, right? In theory. Because obviously, if you look at the scoreboard, we've been seeing 3 of the way.
I'm going to be honest, looking at this buy, I severely hope that the pattern gets broken. Because if they win a round with this buy, there's going to be some words that are said, and probably not in a PG capacity.
It's got to be a misbuy. At least Mini is going to be forced to entry. Or maybe trade. He's heading back towards the A site. The bomb going to be joining them as well. Woxic rotating back in through the halls as well. And they start to sneak their way inside of the A halls. Sasuke leading this one, but only a Glock or PT-50 to his name. Mini's just trying to look for the entries if he can indeed find something. Got to be swapping over the gun. So Tech 9 on him. Mini takes the PT-50 instead. Sturban's just left with a Glock, so that's just a bit of BM. But either way, they're going to be pushing up towards the A site. Maeve does get the tag off onto Sasuke. Not quite the kill. S-Tag as well. Exposed. He gets damaged, but not enough for a kill. Finally, Mini going to strike. But in the meantime, in all of this mess, he's lost his entire team.
Yeah. Well, they do say 1 is the loneliest number, and that's exactly what he has at the moment in time. All on his lonesome. Lovely name of his gun, by the way. Thanks for that. Either way, we are just going to have this 1 versus 4. Don't expect too much of it. Obviously, he kind of needs to do a little bit of damage. He's not going to have a huge amount of money going into the next round if he doesn't manage to get an extra kill. Hunden just going to be playing a sneaky little position in the corner. Peeks out perfect timing, and that will be the lead taken by Trick.
Yeah, pattern is broken. Poor us, but doesn't really matter because DarkPassage is still going to have a buy here. Well, Mini won't. He'll have to get a UMP or a Khalil in this instance. Unless he wants to go for the body armor AK. No, he won't. UMP going to be coming through. I'm going to allow him to buy a bit more nade behind, a bit more utility behind that. And obviously, a round that DarkPassage really need to win, because if Trick win this, again, DarkPassage is going to be back on an eco for another round without a bomb plant, and that's going to be the last round of the half. So Tricks are looking very likely at a 9-6 here, just based off of this round. They can deny the bomb plant. The money for DarkPassage is going to be in a bit of a dire spot, so it's very important for Trick. And obviously, this not being their map pick, they're doing phenomenally so far.
Yeah, no, especially after the way that the rounds have actually strung together. That boost position has... I don't think it's gained a single kill. I think that's the 3rd time we've seen them boost up there and die. Not really sure why they continue to do it, especially when the CT side are pretty much pre-fired it every single time. Either way, it is going to be the man advantage back over to Tricked again. Going to be very happy with the way their B pushes have been going. Now we just have to... All they really have to do is wait. You can see that we have Woxic just waiting for any sort of aggression over towards the A site. Not really any reason for the CTs to do that at this point in time. They've got plenty of utility. They have the man advantage. Now they're just waiting for any more aggression to come out. Sasuke is going to go crossing. Asilium waiting by the window, playing the Taz role. Decimation if they try and get anywhere near him.
Though pushing back in, nice timing with his teammate. Asilium going to be jumping in through the window, and that will drop Sasuke as Borb. He waits for the time to strike, but the Molotov going to catch him off guard. Stag denies another entry into the site. Sturban, sorry, not going to be able to get too much, but he does land himself 1 quick kill. However, that's not the equalization frag that DarkPassage need. Woxic going to be caught out, going to catch out Asilium as well. There's 2 players remaining for Tricked, but only 10 seconds left. They need to get this bomb plant. If they do it in the open, this could be horrible. Sturban going to go for that plant. A run through round of sight is going to be from Stag, but he just gets caught out. Nice shot from Woxic. Good defense of his teammate. And while obviously Sturban is low, Maeve is in a 1v2.
That was so close to the denial of the bomb plant. But as you said, Maeve is now in a 1 versus 2 situation. Smoke going to go down. He's just hoping that somebody makes somewhat of a mistake. He has his trusty Tech 9 in hand, but they've just fallen back. Sturban very, very low. Does have to be careful. Actually going to see the smoke thrown onto the bomb, and well, Maeve caught out in a horrible position. A 2 versus 4 coming in for the T side. A round thrown away by Tricked, and I feel like they may have just given a little bit of a lifeline back into this. Either way, it is going to be a buy back up for the CT side. Not going to have everything they desire going into this final round, especially with S-Tag only on a Deagle. He has been, well, the best player probably in the server so far, so for him to not even be on a weapon is a little bit worrying. But maybe he can show us a little bit of Deagle magic.
It's very possible. Maeve, though, over towards the matrix area, is going to have a lot on his shoulders. His teammate actually goes down. S-Tag only gets 1 deke. And now you can see they're going to start to aggress down through middle. They could actually take A site very fast. Look at this, Sasuke. He's pushed all the way up. He's already behind the swap van. He's going to be able to flank in Asilium. He makes his position known. That's a free kill for Sasuke. He lines it up, gets it, but it's a little bit too late because Asilium's already found himself too. Sasuke now stuck in a clutch situation once again. And DarkPassage, it looked like they could have had that round with that awesome flank from Sasuke, but his team just going to give it up to Asilium. And then, oh, nice pre-fire from Sasuke there. Going to be able to take the head clean off of the Dane. There's still 2 more to find.
Got plenty of time. He's going to be able to isolate Maeve, but Maeve is going to win this round pretty much for his team. His flank was absolutely vital, and Tricked will take the half 8-7. Still a very close scenario. The problem I have, though, Tricked are yet to win a pistol, so we'll see if they can break the trend. Otherwise, XDP are going to get that 3-round boost going into their CT side.
Yeah, this is, again, coming back to what I said earlier, so close, and not what you would expect. After the previous map being fairly heavy for DarkPassage, being 16-9 on the map pick of Tricked on Overpass, you would have gone into Cobble expecting, you know, oh, this should just be another clean sweep. DarkPassage should be able to 2-0 this one. I mean, they've had their shaky start in the group already so far, but Tricked, this should just be an easy map, right? Apparently not. Tricked are winning. If they win this pistol as well, there's a very good chance we could be seeing Nuke once again, which I personally think could be a very, very fun matchup considering the way that Tricked played Nuke last night. But anyway, they are going to start their head in towards middle. Only 1A player, Sasuke. He's going to have to call for the army of rotations now, as Maeve's already found himself up on the door. Mini gets dropped, smoke goes down, and he's going to push into the hut as well. And this is massive. Maeve has gone huge, and 2 players remaining for DarkPassage.
Yeah, great start to the pistol round. It is looking like the trend may about to be broken. Woxic does have the kit, but they've already boosted Maeve back in. It's going to fall away, fade away, and not go for any over-aggression. Doesn't want to hand any opportunities to the CT side to get back into this round. And well, as the time starts to slip away, I don't really think there's too much they can hope to do. Positions are very well known, and none of them are really hitting any shots. Sturban will be able to get one back into the site. Obviously, they do have a kit, but there it goes. Sturban the stand-in. All that remains, and he'll do a little bit of damage, but other than that, it is going to be the first pistol of this whole series going the way of Tricked, and well, what a time to do it as well, going straight into their T side.
Yeah, definitely. Now I'm starting to switch my prediction. Tricked should be able to close out this map, right, in theory. DarkPassage, they better have a pretty phenomenal T-side, or Tricked better have a pretty abysmal T-side, which is definitely on the cards. But still, DarkPassage are going to be severely hindered in this one. We are seeing, an 11-7 looking extremely likely now. As DarkPassage, they've gone for the second round force, as per usual here on the CT side. Lots of SMGs, but a very default buy for Tricked with a couple of rifles just to hold off the long ranges. And okay, the Eagle's apparently better. Sasuke takes down the first. Borok trades, and he should be able to grab that AK as well, but still, early kill for DarkPassage to work with.
They've got a couple of kits as well going into this one. Sturban with the extra money, Mini not buying head armor, so he can get one in play as well. So there's still a little bit of potential. Maker's still doing work with that Deeg, tagging his opponent. It's looking like they're about to go down drop. Obviously, they do have these UMPs. Sicilian will be the one leading the way. Has been pretty good at his T side so far, and will continue that with the first kill after the initial engagement. Second as well. Barup will bring in the third. And Mini, well, he can go exploring on the other side of the map because there is nobody anywhere near his vicinity.
No, should be getting away with this as well. That's the thing on these kind of rounds, he's just going to be fully co if he goes down right next round. So save the CZ, play a better position, play, drop or just sit again over towards long. If someone rushes you, there's a good chance you can get a quick engagement, get yourself a 1-for-1 trade, and that's decent as well. Considering, all you're doing is taking a rifle off of a terrorist. But if you start chasing here and start trying to go for the retake, what are you going to get? You're going to get maybe, a very unlikely a kill. Just because of the sheer position you're in. If you want to do well with the pistol, you hold an angle. But if you're going to start charging round with a CZ, probably not great for you. So he's just going to hold on to it, reposition next round, and probably pick something up with that. The team can just play around him, obviously. As weird as that does sound, since he is probably the only player who is likely to get much damage off in this eco. Because the rest of them, I don't think they're going to be investing anything more than the P250.
The other side of things, Barup. He's going to get himself a MAC-10. Obviously just looking to farm as much cash as they can going into this next round. But more importantly, they're now going to have that buffer, that lead. Something that Trick do seem to be pretty good at working with. Obviously, in the previous map, they did get a little bit down in the dumps on the CT side. And I think that has been the problem in a lot of the maps that we've witnessed them on. It's only really Nuke where their CT side was solid. And even then, they sort of threw it away over on that T side, so definitely looking to see if they can continue the trend and take us over towards Nuke, where then it becomes anyone's game. Obviously, the old iteration of ex-DarkPassage were very, very good on that map, but I do feel like the loss of Calyx is starting to show a little bit more. Maeve with the dunk. Mini, well, you wanted to see him stand out. Now he's stuck in the middle of the map and gonna have to try and stop them coming in. Actually, not a bad position.
No, he could get him
to do something nutty. Does manage to get one.
Doesn't really matter. Either way, you know, you couldn't, no point saving there, right? Because he's going to be on a buy anyway. You could theoretically, you know, save the armor and then, you know, have a little less investment into this round. But his armor was on 99, so unless he was going to, you know, just stick with the body armor and not go for head armor, which he is now, obviously, just due to economical constraints, I feel like there's not really much point saving there. All he would have had is a kit and a CZ, and he wouldn't even use that pistol. Although the lack of kit now is coming to be apparent here for DarkPassage. Yeah. They haven't got anything. That's quite dangerous. They do have a good nade set, though, of smokes. No Molotovs, no damaging nades, no lethal ones, but still. Well, Molotov, smoke can be lethal if your enemy's on 2 HP anyways, but... Trick, they're starting to push up towards A-Long. I like this double setup we have. We have Woxic. He's going to be playing the bait role. Mini peeking in the open. After they kill Mini, they're going to run right past Woxic, and that is when he can go pretty big. But flashes come through. Mini sprays away, not able to connect. They still check the corner, though, and Woxic only gets one.
Not the start that was needed for XDP. They wanted to get themselves rolling very, very quickly. The rotation will be quick, but the site has already been lost. Sasuke very quick actually into the site, but S-Tag, the man at the moment, is there to trade once again. 22 and 12 at the moment. Barup is going to get one back. It's all down to the stand-in once again. As you said, there is no kit in play, and it's not going to help that the T's look to be playing a few mind games. They've fallen all the way back. Now, previously, the bait was taken. Looking like he's just going to stay. Not going to go for too much of a rotation, at least yet. But not spotting anyone. Surely that has to play mind games with him. Are they actually going to go... He's not quite going to catch them, actually. But it may have just worked out in his favor. He's going to go rotating over towards the B site. Play from drop. He can hear them running around. This is the right play to make from Sturban. They've only got 20 seconds. They don't have time to rotate again. He knows it's going to be a hit onto the site. Unfortunately, they're going to be able to cross over before he can really do too much. 15 seconds left on the clock. One of them will eventually have to go for the bomb plant. It feels like he may have just taken the bait a little bit. But now, there's only 9 seconds left. He's going to catch one. 7 seconds back to a 1 versus 1. The bomb will be planted. For Sturban now with a great opportunity to do so. He thinks it's a flash. So clever from Sturban. And he's just won a crucial 1v2 for his team. That should never have happened.
And the funny thing is, they clearly did not believe in that. They called out a pause while he was playing the clutch. Right before he rotated to B, they were like, okay, he's going to lose this, and then we're going to have to call out a pause just to work out what we want to do. Oh, no, actually, one player's disconnected, so that's probably related. But either way, that's amazing. That fake flash with the smoke completely caught the last player off guard. Great clutch from Stubborn. Played it safe, played it right, and it's going to result in DarkPassage having a goodbye now.
Yeah, very, very surprising that he was able to pull that off as well. And the read, like, they were waiting boosted for him to cross. A split second, he switches a split second before he gets shot. If he rotates a little bit later, they cross before he can do any damage. It was just a little bit of luck, but also a huge amount of just mental capacity to know exactly where they were going to be. And in that moment, to throw a smoke over just to bait out your opposition, very, very smart stuff. Well played by him. And, well, now what we have to do is wait for the remaining player to get back in. The problem they have, though, although they've managed to win that round, they lost 4 players and are all going to have to rebuy to get back into this position. So it is going to be a tough round. If they win it, they're back in the game. Look at the money also on the other side of thing. Only S-Tag with too much to spare. So it's all to play for.
It is indeed. That's the thing. That's the thing about this game. You know, you can win a round, you can be really proud, and then you can just get reset straight away, and that can just completely put you down in the dumps for the rest of the match. So it is very hard to maintain. Obviously, we're just waiting for a player to rejoin the side of DarkPassage. Just Mini, not sure what he's doing, but hopefully it won't be too long before we get back into the matchup. Maybe just a TeamSpeak problem. But he's back in. Run pausing, going back into the game, seeing what DarkPassage can do if they can close out a couple of rounds here. Obviously, the buy is a bit up and down considering they lost 4 players in that buy round, but still, Mini's going to relegate himself to a Mag 7, your favorite, or Nova, in fact, is your favorite, but you're still pretty happy about all the shotguns. And he can just probably play drop right or long, just depending. Yeah, it's going to be long.
It's not my... I do have to say, I don't mind this position, but definitely think broken wall or drop down is the place where I like to see the Mag 7 come into play. Especially if he... Well, it depends how aggressive he goes. If he goes any further, I am not happy with the way he's playing this. But in this sort of angle, it can work wonderfully. Seen it many a time. Obviously, Snacks is probably the prime example of how to play shotguns. If you ever want to become an expert, just watch Snacks play, especially on Nuke. Love watching the sawn-off style. And just the fact that, like, you've genuinely seen him many a time go, oh, M4 or I'm gonna stick with the sawn-off. I'm gonna pick up the sawn-off. But unfortunately, Sturban, the savior of the last round, he's already down and out. Utility not in the best position, but it will be a quick trade. S-Tag is gonna catch out Sasuke as they lose the weapon. Woxic is going to lose his life as well. S-Tag just on fire at the moment. And now, well, Mini. Maybe you can get some style points if you manage to win this round, but I do not see that happening.
Yeah, he's going to have to pray to the god of Snacks. Indeed. But Hunden's going to be chasing Mini's holding the wrong angle. And, oh, Hunden could have gone for the knife there, but he's going to just go for the safe play. Shoot him in the face. Tricked another round on the board. Ease himself closer. And that is a reset as well. So DarkPassage, no cash, no bills. It's just going to be pistols. Accidental rhyme, but I'm going to take it. Going to see Maiko on the SMG. Rest of them just going to be relegated down to a couple of Deagles and 5.7s. PT50 on Sturban. It's not really too much of an investment, but really, what can they do? They're going to be double eco regardless. So going for the buy here does make a bit of sense. All it does is limit their utility or AWP when it comes to their next buy round. Maybe they should have saved, though, because they're just getting completely mincemeated. One kill from Maiko, and that is it.
He's the one with that trusty ump in play. May have actually been his first kill of this half. Does seem like their CT side is lacking a bit. And, well, see if they can do any more damage in this round. That's all they're really hoping to achieve. A round win is looking very, very unlikely at this point in time. You can see the T side, they're very happy with their two-man advantage. Just got to wait to see if there's any sort of reaction from the CTs, and it doesn't really look like there is. They're just hoping that they can almost go for some insane individual plays. Mako with his ump still has a couple of nades to play with. 55 seconds left on the clock. They're not going to leave anything to chance as the push begins to come in. But I would have quite liked to see them like almost gamble on a site, go together and try and actually work as a team. Because this, well, it's not going to work. Maeve, instant headshot with the Deeg. Sasuke now just going to try and rotate back in, but I think most of the hope is gone. And, well, now, before they get a buy, it's going to be edging towards that match point. Map point, I should say.
Yeah, it's looking likely that we're going to be seeing Trick take this one, which is a bit of a surprise. Two teams taking the opponent's map picks. Unless DarkPassage have anything to say about it, in which case they should hurry the hell up, because it is taken away from them. Sasuke not able to get anything with the Deagle. Another round go the way of Tricked fairly simply. And this is the full eco that we talked about. So Tricked now 14 rounds in, pretty much. But okay. Not sure if I like this.
What?
Try and justify this to me, Tom. Give me a pitch.
Nope. Nope. This is stupid. This is almost okay. We've given up. Let's try something really dumb.
Watch it work, Tom.
It wouldn't be a surprise. Like, that does happen quite a lot, but this is not a good strategy to try and just risk everything here. They could have had a buy in the next round. 2,400 would have been going into their account. Instead, well, yeah, they're going to try and challenge this one out, but I really don't understand the logic in this buy. And there's a little bit of karma. Thank you very much, S-Tag. I'm glad. I'm genuinely glad. Because things like that, when they work, they genuinely hurt my soul because there is no logical explanation to why they bought there. And this has just turned into... Well, do you remember when you used to watch MK and they would just buy every round? God. And I wanted to literally just jump headfirst out my window.
When they disbanded, Tom was celebrating. You know, he was cheering.
Popping that. I was going to say champagne, but instead of apple juice.
Apple juice. Yeah.
He
was heading over to eGamingBets.com or EGB.com. You know, he was just so happy, man. All his best.
I like how you named the sponsor and I named Apple Juice. Hey guys, sponsored by Apple. I don't even like Apple Juice. I don't even know why I said Apple Juice. Either way.
Apple Juice is great.
Nah. Either way, it's going to be another force buy. They could have had a buy here, but instead they're going to force. They're going to go with the imps. They've got scouts. They've got 2 flashbangs. An MP9. The savior weapon. Hugo's favourite.
Yeah, boy. Nice team Molotov there, though. Asilian just gets completely burnt out by his friend. Either way, aggression from Sasuke. And I mean, Tom, this map's almost over. You got to kind of just worry. Oh, right. Yeah, let's just go to Nuke because who cares about this one, right? DarkPassage up. Not throwing, obviously, but they've realized that this is almost pretty much done, right? So they're just getting aggressive, just going for these silly buys, and yeah, there's not much you can really say when it comes down to it. Either way, Trick's still playing with respect, still playing diligently, going to be holding back for the time being. The smoke's going to be set up towards A.
Nice to see that the second Calyx leaves, everything turns into chaos.
Yeah.
It's
somehow they won the first map though, which makes no sense.
Controlled chaos. Sometimes chaos is the only way to win. Either way, this round is being cleaned up almost as easily, if not even easier, than the last 4 spy. Mako, good luck, I guess. No utility, no kit, no hope. Just a UMP. Trying to pull this one back. You could look at a nice little HLTV article about how good this weapon is. Not quite good enough. 1 HP on Asilian.
Dear oh dear. Well, round going to Tricked and probably the map. Preferably the map actually as well, because I'd rather not see any more of this DarkPassage. Let's go to Nuke. Let's wait for them to reset, because I've had enough, dude. This is too much for me, okay? This is just too much. Either way, I'm going to see their third 4 spy. Well,
this spy I can get behind, double mag 7.
Okay, yeah, then now we support it. Go for the shotguns, then we're big fans. And both the mag 7s are playing A-long. Tom, how happy are you right now?
Neither of the positions I would choose, but Mini, inner snacks. Inner snacks. No.
Woxic, inner snacks. No.
In an S-tag, baby. This is done. This is over. Goodbye, sweet prince. It is all but done. XDP are not going to be able to take this map. Mako in the same position. This time he has a FAMAS and no utility and no nades and no hope. So,
no kit.
Yeah, no kit too.
I love how you said utility and nades, Two very different things. No Zeus, no nades.
Yeah.
The resmoke comes on in. He can't do anything right now. He's gone. This map, Tricked are going to be tricking DarkPassage.
Just get out.
The old meme.
Was bad.
This is your map. This is my map. This is your map. No, this is my map. Someone tweet that to me. We can put that on the stream. I love that. Either way, Miko, he's alone. He's dead. Tricked win the map, and we're going to be heading to Nuke, ladies and gentlemen. That was a shambles from DarkPassage after a great performance.
I'm very glad
on
you
Overpass.
said shambles. I thought you were going to say something very different.
That was a shambles from DarkPassage. And we are going to be heading into Nuke. They had a great performance on Overpass, but it's just not going to work out in Cobble for their map pick. See you in just a few minutes on DE Nuke.